Hello everyone, this is General History, and this is part 14, or no wait, 15. It's either 14 or 15, I'm beginning to lose track, I apologize, of our Ultimate General Civil War playthrough. We just finished up the Peninsula campaign at Malvern Hill, and now we are moving north as we begin to engage Pope's forces on our way to the Second Battle of Bull Run, or Manassas, depending on which side you associate with. So first up, though, is the Battle of Cedar Mountain. Now, as Lee was sort of squaring off against McClellan, waiting to see what McClellan would do on the peninsula, he sent Jackson north to engage Pope's army, who had sort of set up in an arc across the northern part of Virginia. Now Jackson moved north to Gordonsville in an effort to then march on Culpeper County, specifically Culpeper Courthouse, where his old adversary Nathaniel Banks had actually set up his command. So that's where we are as we are now moving forward. Now, due to a massive heat wave that had hit as he was marching forward, and the fact that Jackson was very secretive of his orders. But those two things together really slowed down his march on those final days leading up. He actually wanted to attack earlier, before Nathaniel Banks would have been uh, reinforced. But unfortunately, he came just short of reaching Banks's positions on August the 8th. By that time, he was actually been reinforced by Sigel's forces by Pope. So that's where we are as we start Battle of Cedar Mountain. Now, Cedar Mountain isn't actually in the Virginia mountains, the Appalachian Mountains, the Shenandoah Valley. It's actually just east of it, more or less where they currently have the Bull Run marker, I guess, like right underneath that. But here we go. It seems that the federal forces are not planning to attack soon. However, their presence at Peninsula is a real threat for our capital. We need to develop a bold strategy and strike the enemy supply line around Manassas. The Federals will be pressed to respond by relocating forces from Peninsula and loosen the pressure to Richmond. Advance rapidly to the north around the right of the Union Army and cut the Orange and Alexandria Railroad, breaking the supply line. There we go. As you can see, victory will give us about 5,000 men, $75,000. If we draw or get defeated, we do lose some reputation, but not enough to fire us. But I don't think I will lose at this point. I'm feeling fairly confident. And same thing. I debated last episode whether I wanted to bring my second corps or my first corps. I think I'm going to stick with my first corps for now. Until I can get that second corps some better weapons, I think I'm going to mostly try and stick with my first corps in most of these battles. So they have about 29,000 soldiers, which was a lot more than they had at Cedar Mountain or Cedar Creek, depending on, again, what side you're on. Because I think I've mentioned before, depending on which side, typically the Confederates named their battles after geological features, mainly towns, whereas the Union named it after the nearest body of water. But yeah, the Union only had about 8,000 troops at Cedar Mountain. Now we are high ourselves. At Cedar Mountain, the Confederates had about 16,000 troops. So yeah, we're a little high in terms of our numbers. But this should be an interesting battle. They have 72 guns, we have 48 guns. Alright, the Yankees have been alerted by our presence and have sent a force to halt our advance. They have occupied the right ridge above Cedar Run. You have no choice but to attack and repel them. That is true, the Union set up their forces overlooking Cedar Run, whereas the Confederates set up theirs, I guess is supposed to be Cedar Mountain here. It doesn't really look like a mountain, but yeah, they set up their forces basically along the foot of Cedar Mountain here. Alright, so most of the battle ended up being a artillery duel. I guess this little hill here is supposed to be Cedar Mountain. I don't know. But yeah, most of the battle ended up being a artillery duel, at least for most of the day, because I think the Confederates got there about 1 o'clock. I mean, it's hard to tell with these battles. I did go ahead and rename some of my legions, by the way. So Wheat's Legion, seen as Robert O. Wheat will be dead by this point, is now the 1st Virginia Sharpshooters, and I actually do have the Louisiana Tigers now as a full brigade. Not that that really matters. I'm trying to... So I'll send 5 brigades on my left. Oh, what did I do? Oh no. I'll move 2 brigades up my middle. I'll have 3 on the right. And we'll go ahead and move my artillery forward. I think I'm gonna forego any no, I better have some cavalry this battle, just in case. So yeah, most of the battle ended up being an artillery duel through most of the day. The first attacks really didn't start happening to about 5 o'clock. Alright, let's go ahead and pause. And see, we're gonna go ahead and advance these 2. I'm gonna bring up my artillery onto this hill, supported by my cavalry, just in case they try countering across here. In fact, the Old Dominion Guard will go ahead and deploy some skirmishers across. We'll set up the sharpshooters in those woods there. We'll march these guys up the middle. So most of my brigades are now, if you're interested in knowing, are now named after actual Virginia brigades or historic Virginia brigades during the war. And I think I'll actually sweep with the Louisiana Tigers. And most of the battle I feel like is going to happen here in the middle. Now I'm going on the offensive. In the actual battle, the Union attacked first. I don't know if that's going to happen in this battle. It feels like they're going to more than likely be on the defensive. We'll see. Because the Union attacked while the Confederates were very disorganized and still trying to get their troops into position. In fact, one of Stonewall Jackson's division commanders, Charles Winder, we've talked about him before, actually died during this battle. He was ill and was actually commanding his forces via ambulance. He was actually on a ambulance when was he hit direct? No, I believe he was hit with shrapnel from a cannon shell. While he was in the ambulance, it really like messed up his left side. Oh wow, nope, they are attacking. Gonna get the sharpshooters out of there. So the game was actually pretty historically accurate about that. I'm surprised. I'm gonna go ahead and get those guys back. I'll use my cavalry to sort of see what's going on the right hand, just to make sure I'm not getting flanked. So I do have some forces in these woods. Oh. Sorry, I'm still trying to issue orders. So yeah, the Union attack, like I say, while they were still disorganized. Now, Winder's division obviously came under command of someone else. His name was, who was it? Telefaro? I believe it was Telefaro that took control of Winder's division. after his wounding, and he would die sometime later. Come on, try and get the innocent brigade out of the open, try and get in the woodland. Now, it kind of doesn't make any sense. They were taking fire from Hartstuff's brigade. There really shouldn't be any reason that he should have been taking fire. It's the idea that they could shoot through the woods. Like, I understand when a unit is in the woods that they can take fire, but when you're shooting one unit to the other side of the woods in the open, you can't imagine many rounds would actually get in there. I do have extra smelly Billy Smith's boys on Prince's rear. We were able to force back Hartstuff. Let me go ahead and move the Old Dominion Guard up there. But like I said, I believe it was Teleferro that came under command of Winder's divisions when he was injured, and then he had no idea. Again, with Jackson's secrecy when it came to his orders, he had no idea of what Jackson's plans were. So again, his units were out of place when the Union decided to launch their attack. Which really, on the Confederate right, Jubal Early was able to sort of stabilize their lines using artillery that he had placed on the base of the hill of the Cedar Mountain, which allowed him to, like I said, sort of control the situation, keep the Union forces at bay. Now, it was mostly on the left-hand side of the lines that the Confederates really struggled. The Federals came up on the Union flank of the 1st Virginia, and were able to, like I said, flank them and force them back. The Stonewall Brigade, Jackson's own Stonewall Brigade, tried moving forward in an effort to stop the Union force. I believe they were under the command of Crawford. There's Crawford there. I believe they were under the command of Crawford, but even the Stonewall Brigade got knocked aside. And these two things forced Early's left, who had stabilized his line on the Confederate right. Early had his left being threatened. Go ahead and try to advance here in the middle. His left was now threatened by the collapsing total Union Confederate left. Okay, artillery's still in range, barely. Should probably bring it, I guess, to Manassas Manassas Battery is my house, so I'll go ahead and move them forward. Let me go ahead and bring Edwards up to start resupplying my line. Castle up. So with the left sort of breaking, Stonewall Jackson tried to rally his men, and there's a pretty funny anecdote from this battle where Jackson, who had very seldom actually used his sabers, or his saber, sorry, tried to pull his saber out of his scabbard while trying to rally his men. I'm gonna charge force, but try to pull his saber out of the scabbard to rally his men, only to find that it actually rusted into place. So what he ended up doing was unbuttoning his scabbard from his waistband and holding the sword with the scabbard while stewing the scabbard up to rally his men. Now, doing so, it did have the desired effect. The Stonewall Brigade was able to rally and then form up and then push forward the Union forces under Crawford, who at this point were not only tired, but also without reserves. So they didn't have anybody behind them to actually help the line hold up. Oh, Nathan Forrest was wounded. Blew up the old first. Put Stonewall in reserve. The Irish Brigade was going to stay in reserve as well. So the Union ends up retreating, But then the Stonewall Brigade also ends up pushing too far forward and gets beyond the support of Confederate lines, and they too then get pushed backwards. But this gave the Confederates time to reform their own lines at the base of the mountain, as well as it gave them time for A.P. Hill's divisions to arrive and begin coming onto the battlefield. Now this was significant because he was able to plug a lot of the holes that were in the Confederate lines, and at this point Jackson ordered an all-out advance by Hill and Richard Ewell's forces forward. Most of the Union right collapsed almost immediately, which we sort of saw up here when I began launching my assault. So most of the Union right began collapsing almost immediately, and what ends up happening, actually Billy Smith, come on, is this sort of creates a chain reaction as the rest of the Union forces then begin to collapse along the line. Well, they begin to waver, but then the final powering blow happens when Trimble's brigade ends up charging the Union left, which just totally crushes the Union left, which was already wavering by the fact that their right was now broken. We've got the Stonewall Brigade. Louisiana Tigers are forcing Carroll to rout. Tower is now routing, beginning to take the field. So that really is what ends up breaking the Union at Cedar Creek, or Cedar Run. Now Jackson actually pursues into the evening, all the way, I believe they advance about 1.5 miles forward. Go ahead and bring up the Wise Legion again. This battery actually took a casualty. Stabilize my line. So it's showing McDowell actually here, but this is actually, oh well, there's Banks. Now McDowell does come in later. It would make more sense that Siegel would be here and not McDowell, because McDowell does end up getting to the battlefield, although way too late to make any difference. He ends up just becoming a rear guard. Now Jackson almost ends up I think I'm gonna go ahead and advance the opening guard and the Wise Legion. Jackson almost ends up capturing both Pope and Banks as they're at the headquarters, about 1.5 miles behind the lines. He had sent forth a lot of cavalry in pursuit of the retreating forces, and like I said, they almost end up capturing Banks and Pope. Go ahead and move forward to Bloody 8. They haven't really engaged. And that basically is the history behind the Battle of Cedar Run, or Cedar Mountain. Let's see if I can get Forrest up behind. Still have a lot of troops in. Try getting my ammo cart up there. I still got an hour to try and break them. Alright, so I got some recons. The Dury is still up there. We're beginning to surround. Getting them in the salient. Louisiana, you go after that gun battery. There you go. There you go. What'd I do? The Old Dominion Guard are starting to waver. Come on, pound that battery. Pound it, pound it. So the Old Dominion Guard broke. Beginning to force a lot of their troops out into the open here. Sharpshooters equipped with these Whitworths are doing a heck of a lot of damage. 27 deaths, but almost 500 killed. Alright, move the Old Dominion back forward. See if I can get Forrest up there. Maybe capture those supplies. Move the Innocents up. And we broke that battery. So I'm gonna go ahead and move the Tigers down. Start moving them down. See if they can capture those supplies. Looks like we just broke Banks. Sounds like my dog's going nuts in the background. So the Wise Legion just broke. Move my sharpshooters in to, just in case the Union gets any wise ideas. I see what I did there. Wise ideas. So they were able to capture those supplies. Let's see if I can move them out of there. Use the Tigers to keep them running and then hit them with Forest. The Wise Legion up. Move the Manassas battery forward some. They had the howitzers. They don't have the range. Come on, Castle, get up there. How are we not taking this point yet? Oh, the Innocents are just getting mauled. I'm gonna pull Forrest out. Move the sharpshooters forward as well. Okay, the flag is starting to turn. I think we are starting to take this position. Alright, we secured the ridge. Louisiana Tigers, oh my god, almost 1,000 kills to only 61 deaths. It's almost a 10 to 1 kill death ratio. The Lynchburg battery is almost out of range. I'll let them get that last volley off and then move them up the hill. Got 5 minutes left. Oh, actually, I think we have 18 minutes left. I don't know if if it's gonna end at this marker or this marker. We'll see. Okay, that's gonna be the end of the fight. I could keep playing. We'll let these units get the last few volleys off. Maybe we'll get some more. Because I mean, the more units we kill, the less troops that they're going to have in that final pool for the Battle of Manassas. So we'll let this go on a little bit longer. Probably not too much longer. Not to mention the more supplies. Maybe I'll just wait until I can force all these troops out of this wood line here. Actually, the Irish Brigade just took a huge volley, so we're actually going to finish this right now. Alright, and there you go. 26,000 against 20,000. They took 10,000 casualties. We took 4,000, which is a lot more than the actual two forces lost. And in the historical battle, the Union lost about 2,000, almost about 2,500, almost, and the Confederates lost about 1,300 troops. So we were able to win. Stonewall Brigade is now back on top. Although, where'd they go? Louisiana Tigers. I would say that was like a 6-to-1 kill-death ratio. I think they probably better brigade, even though Stonewall Brigade got a little better. I didn't even see that. We did lose a Brigadier General. That is unfortunate. 2 wounded. Brigadier General Clyde Cook and Nathan Forrest, of course, got wounded. Lafayette McLeod became Major General, though. We might have to promote him. Alright, so we captured some supplies, sharps. I believe the supplies give you more money. Got back some of our Colts, some of our smoothbores. Captured some pattern Enfields. Got back some of these expensive Whitworths, so I'm glad we got some of those back. The Mississippi's, Marines. Captured 500 more Harper's Ferry, so we're starting to build up our Harper Ferry supplies, some palmettos, which we will probably sell, and a whole bunch of Napoleons. There we go. Alright, so that was the Battle of Cedar Mountain. Victorious. 1 career point, plus 4 reputation, 85 prisoners exchanged for 85 recruits, $75,000, and another 5,700 recruits. Now we do have some people we need to get. We'll go ahead. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and get Wilcox. We'll replace him with a colonel, Perot, and we'll probably just do a colonel for these guys too. So there you go. So all of our leaders are replaced. So let's go ahead and get these units replaced. We'll do 250-ish veterans, the rest rookies. We'll just do all rookies. All rookies. Stonewall Brigade's the only one I care about keeping like high quality. Yeah, we'll keep them rookies as well. Might have to, yeah. I don't want them to lose a star though, so we'll Have to give that some of these guys veteran units.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes,
These
sir.
guys are getting harder and harder to keep veteran. Oh, that hurts. All that money. Can only replace 14 of these guys.
Sir, yes, sir.
The rest of you guys will just be rookies. There we go. And I know one of these guns lost some men. That's weird. Okay, so we're left with a whole $5,000, guys. But let's go to the. Let's look at our career points first. What do we want to put it in? This will allow me to get another brigade. Or no, sorry. What does this one give me? 5 brigades. What difference does this next organization level give me? 3 corps, 4 division. Oh, it gives me a 4th division. Might. I really don't have the money right now, so let's go ahead and put that in economy.
Sir, yes, sir.
I'd love to add another division, but like I said, I really don't have the money right now. To add a 4th division, I'm still just trying to build out a 3rd corps. Now, granted, I could probably just focus on the first 2 corps, but that's neither here nor there. So we're starting to build up our Harpist Ferries. It's not a weapon we could buy at the moment, at least. Maybe we'll be able to buy it here soon. Go ahead and sell these guys as well. I don't want to sell any of the 10-pounders because they're expensive guns. Guess I could, well, I can go ahead and bring this guy up to a 16 gun battery. Put him at full capacity. That's another thing I did. I did last episode, or after last episode, add some, go ahead and bring these guys up to 500. You know what, we'll actually put these guys, because I'm sort of, the way I'm sort of building it is that the 2nd division in each corps is going to be sort of a light division. So they're going to be the division with like the cavalry and the sharpshooters, that sort of thing. So I'm just sort of trying to build out this corps. I can go ahead and maybe have enough. No, not quite. Might as well hold off then. Yeah, we'll go ahead and hold off building anything else out. Money is really becoming an issue. What I really need to stop doing is using so many veterans. I think it's what I need to start doing. I'm just focusing on rookies. Alright, so let's take a look at the next battle. It's going to be Manassas Depot. $10,000 though, that's going to be a nice chunk of change to win for this next battle. Only 3,500. I don't get anything if I lose, and not much if I draw either. But if I'm victorious, I do get a lot. So let's take a look. Whoa. Oh, okay. So that's why I don't get anything if I lose. Because I don't actually get to use my forces. Apparently I'm supplied a force. So Trimble. So I guess this is going to be under Trimble's and a little bit of Early's forces. So we get 2 corps, one under Trimble, one under your. Of course, they're not really corps. They're more like, oh wow, they're basically brigades. So we get a brigade, 2 brigades essentially for this next battle. It's going to be Manassas Depot, which really wasn't much of a battle. Interesting that they would go after this. In fact, I really don't know much about Manassas. I know there was a battle at Bristow Station. I really don't know. I mean, there's not a lot of history there other than the Confederates pretty much just took it over, took the supplies there, ended up burning a lot of them. I think this is going to be one of those like those battles before the Shiloh campaign, where I just talked about the battle itself, because really, like I said, there's not so much going on in Manassas Depot. But that'll be next episode. But for now, thank you all for watching. This is General History, signing out. Thank you. Bye-bye.